I'm gonna get rolling. Deep breath in. All right. Good morning, Everald. Can you please introduce yourself?
Sure. Everald. I'm the principal of STORYN Studio for Architecture.
How many years have you been practicing?
I'm in my 16th year of practice.
Nice. All right, so when did you decide to study architecture?
I decided to study architecture very early on. I was in 9th grade and I did a stipple dot drawing. And this was for like a last class when drafting illustration was going to end in public schools. And I mentioned it to my instructor. I said, I can do this all day. I can actually do this for a living. I just be a drafter. And he looked at me and he said, you want to be an architect? And I decided I want to be an architect.
Nice, that's a cool story. Thank you for sharing. So what brings you the most joy about architecture?
What brings me the most joy about architecture? I think certainly now that I'm practicing and I get to have a say that's unique in my perspective and from where I come from, the most joy now is working with clients and translating very early ideas that they might have into a built form. And the constraints that come within that keep me up at night in a very good way because I'm excited to deal with them. And the moment when you sort of get it right, or maybe get it 90%, 99% right, and the public is there and they feel well served, and the architecture is actually taking a back seat and folks actually don't understand why it's so great, but it's performing. That gives me a lot of joy.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that. So I guess before we go into why UF, what was the main reason to come to University of Florida School of Architecture?
Yeah, I have to say that it's quite direct. So it's a bit of a legacy. I would have been the 6th person to go to University of Florida. But what's interesting about it being a legacy is my older brother, I visited him on campus once, and he's only 2 years older school-wise than me. When I was visiting him on campus, and I already knew I wanted to be an architect because I had that discussion a while ago, I was visiting him on campus and I noticed there was a design exploration program going on that summer, which I was sort of looking at and seeing some of the work. So I wanted to be at UF because it's legacy. Number 2, I couldn't wait to get to UF because I saw some of the work even before I was part of it. Yeah.
Nice. All right. So as a segue to that, what is your favorite or fondest memory from studying at the School of Architecture?
My favorite or fondest memory. So we had quite a unique class, or maybe many classes feel that they were unique, but we spent a lot of time together. I think I recall, because my girlfriend at the time, my wife now, told me I would spend an average of 60 hours in the studio. Because we love being together. One of my fondest memories, you know, it was a talented class, but I have to say when we actually played dodgeball in the Fine Arts C building, the kind of joy that brought me, and the fact that I think we almost got in a lot of trouble was quite fun.
That's amazing. I love that. And then on a more serious question, what would be the best tool or the most important lesson you learned throughout the program here at the School of Architecture?
There are many, but I say this in the most sincere way. I had a chance to also go to our Master of Science in Architectural Pedagogy, which I think has really set apart my career path, being that is a teaching degree. One of the things that allowed for me, not only that, but also being a GTA before formally going to the program, it really allowed me to understand how to listen, because I believe it's the first step to translating. So I'm a firm leader now. In a way, I get to serve my clients in a unique way because I think I listen uniquely, because it's teach that kind of patience. It's a skill, right? And then not only that, I have a staff, so it's all about mentoring them and managing them and understanding their growth. So the Master of Science in Architecture Pedagogy, I think, really gave me a unique perspective as an educator, which has, you know, paid tremendous dividends as a practitioner, not only dealing with clients, but even when your clients expand and they're the general public and hearing concerns in a large group and how you distill that and categorize it so folks feel heard.
All right,
Yeah.
that's a great skill to have. And I guess just to close up, is there anything in particular you would like to tell a prospective student that is thinking about studying here at the school for a Master's of Architecture or a degree in architecture?
Yeah, I guess I would say this. I would say to a student who's coming, come study. The studio experience of learning is unique, and it's quite diverse. You know, the world we're in is complicated in a good way, and architecture touches a lot. Maybe we're not experts in one thing at all, but we touch quite a bit, and I think it'll expand your mind, and it can lead to different career paths. You know, one of the most interesting things about myself and some of my friends who graduated from this program is there's a diverse career path. You know, some go traditional in architecture, some are firm leaders, some are not firm leaders, some go into animation, some go into government practice. And I think that degree and learning in a studio is quite unique because you're having to deal with the challenges of what other people think and the way they interpret your work, which sets you apart uniquely to deal with the world and the fact that it's quite complicated.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
thank you very much,
You're
Everald. I
welcome.
appreciate your time.
Not a problem.